Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I'll wait a few minutes for everybody to come on. Let me see if I can find Chelsea. Here she is. Let me invite her on.
There
Hey
we
girl,
are.
what's up?
I'm getting a Waterloo.
You're what? You're getting the water?
Waterloo.
What's a Waterloo?
So it's just this brand of water. I've totally given up on Polar because you know that they never paid me a dime.
Did you on who? Who?
Polar was like this company that I was working with out here. It's like
Oh,
a New England company, and they liked my videos, so they sent me tons of merch, and then they sent me like a pallet of soda water, which I was so grateful for, and that was like for an exchange of videos because I got all these people to drink Polar. And then they were supposed to send me another palette so I could keep making videos, and I never heard from them ever again.
wow. Should have gotten some money.
And you know what else is so messed up too is like the company, they're multi-billionaires, the co-owners. One of them lives on Nantucket, and like I knew a guy who was like putting up a statue in their yard, and I'm like, they're getting a beautiful statue, but where's my fucking Polar?
Yeah. Where all you needed was a case of Polar, and they couldn't
That's all
even
I
send it to
wanted. That's all I wanted.
you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too.
All right, I can't wait. Okay, so first of all, can I just okay, first introduce yourself and then we'll get into it.
Okay. So how does it work with the live? Hold on. How does the co-host working?
So you'll see your followers on and your comments on your side, and I'll see mine on my side. So mine says I have 227 people on, and people are logging on. So that's the really bad part is like we can't both see the comments when we do co-host, but it's better this way where we can, equally see each other instead of like one's big and one's small.
Yes, I agree. No, I like this. This is fun. I am Chelsea Rose Fitzy. Alex and I have been mutuals on the app now for about almost a year, right? Yeah, but you started following me after last summer.
I started following you, but I think you started following me like when this video blew up, like in April. Well, unless you
Right.
were following my Alex Search account. I don't know
That's the
about that.
thing. That's the thing is I thought I was already following you. And then when
Yeah.
that video, because you were always on my For You. Does that ever happen to you when you think you're following somebody and then because they're always on their For You, and then all of a sudden they came out with that thing now where it says follows you at the bottom?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was a while back, and it said follows you, and I was like, she follows me. And then I was like, I thought I was already following her. And then
Yeah.
we became able to DM, and that's how we met. But I'm a comedy content creator on my page, and recently I've been going through a spiritual awakening, and I have this new friend named Alex. I don't know if you know her, and I got this podcast through like my following with the comedy skits, which is where it's like really super fun. I make fun of restaurants, but I got a podcast deal out of that, and now I have a new friend, Nate, and we have a podcast called Unqualified Opinions. And I asked Alex to be on it, and she said yes. And that alone just sent me over the edge into spirituality. Like it just tipped me. It was just the last thing I needed to be tipped over into the undeniable pit that I am now trying to dig myself back out of. It, I don't know. You just gave me that. We talked for 2 hours.
I know, and it didn't feel like it.
No, I edited the podcast because Nate wasn't on that episode, and he's normally like the producer and all that junk. So I was like totally out of my element, and I was like, how does he do this? How does he pick? I wanted to put all of it in.
How much time is it? Only like 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's like a
wow.
whole hour and 15 of just us. And it was like only the stuff that I kept out only the stuff that I was like, maybe, maybe we wouldn't want to say that to like all of my viewers or all of her, like, well, I just kind of left it up to like my discretion, but I hope that I
Yeah.
did you justice. I hope you'll be so happy with it.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to it. My podcasts are forever long because I take the lives and then I put them on YouTube and my podcast. So they're like
Ooh.
4 hour long podcasts. And I'm like, and people are like, I listen to you like on my way to work, like 2 hour
Yeah.
drives. I'm like, good, do it. Cause I'm like, that's why I talk so much.
No, when I'm telling you that you and I are one of the same soul family. We 100% are. I know that by just looking at you. There's a drone above me. I know that just by looking at you, by listening to you, by everything you're saying right now, especially um, when I was like, when I just learned how to talk, the only thing that anybody ever told me was you talk too much, and it has not stopped. And I will not stop. I will not ever stop talking. I can't help it.
I know. Me either. And the fact that we both worked in restaurants for as long, the same amount of
The
time,
same amount of time.
that's so crazy.
And we both stopped at the same amount of time.
I know. When did you quit?
When my son was born, so that was at 18, 19 years into the restaurant industry.
And you don't plan on going back? Well,
I don't know. That's the thing is like, that's why I couldn't wait for this live tonight, because I really want to talk too about, and we didn't get into this. We kind of did on the podcast, but like how literally everything is just in the moment. And I'm like, part of my spiritual awakening for me is realizing that literally nothing fucking matters. The only thing that matters is that I'm happy and my son's alive. Like,
exactly.
so as long as he's breathing in at least the diaper or underwear, and I'm good, we're good.
Yeah.
And so everything else can kind of just like fall into place as is. And so with my spirituality, when you're like, will you go back to restaurants? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think you will? You don't know.
I don't know either. I'm gonna obviously try to pursue this path.
Yes.
I think that like working in restaurants my whole life was definitely part of like my old version of myself, and I think it's time to really work for myself instead of serving others, which I'll still be serving others, just in a different way. And
1000%. And tell me how fitting it is if, you know, in the galactic space where I'm just making like a fun little story. Imagine there's little aliens watching us like we're on TV. How fun is it to be like, oh my gosh, the writers made her a server and then she served the public knowledge? Oh, that is so cute. But like, that's like, how kitschy is that? But it's exactly how I feel. Like, I served people for 18 years and now I'm serving them jokes and the truth about spirituality. And I haven't stopped serving, and I just haven't stopped.
Well, that's exactly how my name came to be, Alex Serves, because I was like, well, I'm serving, I'm a server, but I'm also serving comedy, I'm serving laughs, I'm a makeup artist, I'm serving looks. Like, I think Alex Serves is great. And so I did that. And then when I did this one, I didn't know what to name it. And I asked I had a really small following, like 2,000 or 3,000 people. And I was like, what do you guys think I should name this one? And somebody came up with Alex Serves Tea. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a good one. And so we did that. And then with my podcast, I was like, what should I name it? And then I was like, Alex Serves It All, because I'm going to talk about everything on there. So like Alex Serves is literally perfect. And people think like my last name is Serves because of Alex Serves, which is funny because I also follow another kid called Jessie Smiles. And so people think her name is Jessie Smiles, and it's like, no, that's just what her screen name is.
People think that my last name is Fitzy, and that's it. Like, but it's Fitzgerald.
Oh, all
right.
right.
And it's not even it's my married name, but like my real last name is, well, my maiden name was Costa. So it's like, when you want to talk about transitioning, so like getting sober for me, right? So I'm 6 years sober. But the timeline goes 3 years into that. I started kind of doing, like really diving deep into spirituality. I had a baby 2020, and I had a baby in 2020. Then after he was born, forget it. Like the veil was gone. The cat was out of the bag. I knew kind of what was going on in the world. I was really into your videos, like really into finding out conspiracy theories and trying to knowledge myself. I stopped watching the news, and then, on the app, what was I saying? Oh my God, I'm going to keep doing this. I keep going on tangents.
You were just talking about like your whole awakening process. Like you had your baby, the veil was lifted.
Yeah. I don't know. And no, I'm just saying, like, the time has come. The time is now. My son started it all. It's really hard to explain that. But I'm on this spiritual path, and I started listening to all those perennial beats. I don't know.
Oh, you weren't listening to them before?
No. So like, somebody just reminded me what I was talking about. Yeah, let me talk about this. Let me finish my thought, because my followers understand my ADHD. I'm highly, for those of you who don't know me, I suffer from severe ADHD since I was 7. So I go on tangents, and I'm also fangirling because I'm really nervous. I'm fangirling over Alex's fans. Like, they're cooler than me. So I'm nervous. Does that make sense?
Well, I've been obsessed with your TikTok since you started because I think you're hilarious. So I was like, oh my god, yes, I would love to
It was like
talk to you.
my characters are confident. I am like awkward and shy and scared, but I'm gonna press through. My last name was Cece growing up my whole life because my maiden name was Costa. But then when my son died, and my son died, when my son was born, the name died, Cece, and I became Chelsea Rose Fitzy. Like not even when I got married. I'm talking like when he was born, I totally changed. I said nobody called me Cece anymore, and this has been a nickname for a long time. And all of a sudden, I was just like, that nickname does not serve me. It is actually not even who I am. It's a persona of this like singer, actor, comedian. And I want to step into the comedy role as Chelsea Rose Fitzy, as the new me, and speak the truth and like just not wear makeup on stage, like not care about what my jokes are, just totally be myself. And that's when I saw the ratings go up. I went viral on TikTok because I was actually being myself, my authentic self, and not hiding behind this like fake persona Cece. And I don't know why I put so much emphasis on that Cece thing, but it really feels like that she's dead, like that Taylor Swift song. And that's what you
Yeah.
were saying. It's like the old you is gone. I don't even know her anymore.
I know, and so many people have had the same experience when they go through their awakening that they don't feel connected to their name or their nickname anymore, and they change it.
Yes.
I've always felt connected to my name, and I can't imagine having a different name. But my name does really mean like defender of mankind or mankind's helper. So I'm like, I'm fitting my name,
Yeah.
but I never go by Alexandra. I always go by Alex. So I'm like, I
Right.
like Alex. That's my name. But it's so crazy because so many people do have that
What I
moment
just
that you
said.
had.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't know that that's a shared experience. So that makes me feel a lot better because I didn't know how to explain that to like my family and friends. Please don't call me that anymore. They're like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
Like
What was their like reaction?
some people still call me that, like my father-in-law, my nieces and nephews, like they're not going to be able to stop calling me Auntie Cece. It's just like it is what it is because they were like 4 and 3 when I met them. Like I don't expect them to change it. Like my father-in-law loves it, so it's fine. But like they just go along with it because I'm kind of like one of those people who's like when I say something, I ask for it in a way where I'm probably like going out of my comfort zone to ask you this question to please do this to like this boundary. I like to hold boundaries, but it's hard for me to say that to like say that to people. So when I
Yeah.
do, people know I'm serious. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So the boundary was set and that was it. Chelsea Rose
Wait,
Fitzy, here I
when's your
am.
birthday?
October 29th, 1989.
Uh, wait, not Libra, Scorpio.
Scorpio. No, yeah.
Makes sense.
And
Makes sense.
I'm a Scorpio on like 3 different things. It's the moon, the new moon in Scorpio. So it's a no moon, dead night. That's why at a full moon, I could crochet 6 blankets on a full moon. I have so much energy. Honestly, at least 2 shirts, if not 2 shirts, crocheted
It
on a
gives you
full
all the
moon.
energy.
Yes, and then I also don't even like driving on a full moon because I'll get in an accident. Because I was born
Oh,
on a new moon Scorpio, and then also the sun was in Scorpio, and then there's something else too that's in something rising in Scorpio.
your
I'm all
rising is Scorpio.
Scorpio. I'm all Scorpio
Wow.
out. What
Wow.
about
Okay.
you? What about you?
I'm May 20th, so I'm a Taurus Gemini cusp, which if you fall on May
Mm.
20th, it depends on the time you were born, if you're a Taurus or a Gemini. And people are like, you can't be both, but because my chart also has a Mercury and Mars in Gemini, and I'm so close to Gemini, I'm not just a Taurus or a Gemini. I'm literally a mix of both. And my rising is a Taurus, it's Taurus Sun, Taurus Rising, Taurus Venus, Gemini Mars, Gemini's Mercury, and then a Pisces Moon. So I'm very
I
much
see.
hardcore.
You have this brain, Alex, that's like available for all info. You.
But I like retain some info. I got a human design reading, and she was like, you don't hold on to the shit you don't need to know. You only hold on to the stuff that's important. So then when like people ask you like what did you eat yesterday, you won't know. But like if they ask you
Yeah.
like about the fucking Hoover Dam, you have information on that. I'm like, that is so true. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was like, why do I not remember what I did yesterday, but I can remember this? This is so random.
I was just saying today too. That's funny you say that to my husband. I made him listen. He wanted to. He wanted to listen to the podcast that I edited before it airs tomorrow with you in it because I was so like somebody has to listen to this. Like I said it today, but he was at work and I was like, somebody please proof listen because I got to make sure this is good. Like, does she sound good? Did I do good? Or whatever. And at one point I paused it and I said, how do I understand all of this information? Where do I put all of this information? But I can't remember my car keys or an appointment.
Right.
But I can tell you everything we talked for 2 hours and I did not stop talking. Where am I retaining all this information?
I know. It's
If
insane
you
to
put
think
a gun
about.
to my head, told me to put my husband's phone number, I wouldn't know my husband's phone number.
Okay, that's so true. Like I literally know like 2 phone numbers. I don't know anyone's phone number.
It's apparently
But
not relevant. I don't know.
okay, so I want to know where you are from originally. Like
Oh, is
not
that a
from this planet.
big debate? Oh, oh, oh! I was thought you were trying to talk shit about Cape Cod.
Oh no.
Um, no,
Oh.
we're way off. We're past that. Orion,
Okay, so I want to
Mintaka.
ask about Orion because I was under the impression that like usually beings from Orion, it's like not always. Are there good and bad and positive beings from Orion? Because like every time we learn about these negative entities, they say that they came from the Orion galaxy or whatever, Orion star, whatever.
So think about this. So think about how the Milky Way, right, is one galaxy, but within it there's different solar systems. Correct? Right?
Mm, I guess.
Like we're not the only sun in this galaxy. So
Uh-huh.
it's not so like Orion. Me being from Orion doesn't mean that I'm from the exact same area as um what you would call like demonic or evil or like reptilians, right? Because there's a whole galaxy.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about this on the podcast? We talked about how your planet was destroyed.
Yeah. So I was told that I was from Mintaka, and since then, I'm not kidding you, two, two people in my close circle who I consider to be good friends both got the same reading done throughout, whether before I met them or one after, both from the Mintaka. Do you know how small my island is where I live? How the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
Out of
Yeah.
we
And to be
found
like
each other. We
Nantucket
found
kind of sounds like Mantaka. Like it's kind
Mintaka.
of weird. Yeah.
I'm covered in goosebumps right now. And then
That's crazy.
also, it was a blue planet covered in water that was destroyed um, by the reptilians. So it's almost like we weren't the planet. The way I feel, I've done a lot of meditation upon it, and I kind of moved on. That was like my last year's project, was the whole Mantaka thing. If you go onto like the deep web or even YouTube has Mintaka stuff. You can find people chanting. One time I found this guy on YouTube who was just speaking the language from the planet, this like old ancient language, and I was like, that's how I fell asleep for like 2 months listening to them. My husband walks in listening to this guy in his living room, just like, and I'm like my homeland was calling me back. But like I have a deep respect for the dark, deep water. No business being in there, which is like totally a Mantaka mentality because the water was crystal clear blue. And it was just like a really light and peaceful place where everybody was friends and everybody loved each other. And there was no friend or foe. It was just all equal.
Mhm.
And I'm not really sure where I fit in with the expertise on Mintaka in general, but I know that they were dispersed after the planet, like the souls were dispersed. And I don't know how many people are on Earth, or I'm not part of any group or anything like that. Like I said, I just like go on to different pages. I think I'm on a Reddit group. There's like Facebook groups you can join for your starseed family. Like you don't have to do this alone. It is something I've known since I was 3. I have a memory, not many, but there is a memory because it was a traumatic event around that age. Okay. My parents divorced. So, like, I kind of have like a weird memory because it wasn't really like a clean, not, no divorce is pretty, but there was some stuff going on in my life. So, I kind of have little tiny memories here and there. And the biggest thing that stands out is knowing that I could speak to a greater good, which I didn't know at the time what that meant. And it really started kicking in more like I talked to on the podcast, like 8 or 9. But long story short, every night before I went to bed, my eyeballs had to look at Orion before I even knew what it was called, before I knew what the constellation, before I knew what stars were. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to find it, and it's the center one that it feels deeply connected to. And then you go to school, you realize there's a name for it. I was obsessed with whales. I was obsessed with dolphins, and I was obsessed with the water, but afraid of deep water at the same time. I wanted to be a marine biologist. I didn't understand. I think my sexuality comes from that whole part of my life because I'm a demisexual. What's a demisexual? It's somebody who falls in love with somebody who they have a deep, loving relationship with. Like, I couldn't have a one night stand type thing. I mean, I could, it just would suck. But I wouldn't enjoy it. And trust me, I've done it. But yeah, I think all of it, I mean, like, if you just feel like you are connected, if you look up at the sky and you know in your soul that you always have felt since you were a child connected to a source, a higher source, and you can pinpoint it, that's not nothing, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
That's something. And then I allowed myself to open, I'm speaking in first person. I allowed myself to open up to a part of my brain that was shut off for so long. And I'm actually listening to it. And guess what? There's tons of fucking people like this.
Yeah.
Tons.
Tons. Like, I need to get to your level of meditation. So, like, when
Mm-hmm.
you're meditating, you say that you connect with your spirit guides. And so, like, can you explain to us how that happens? Like, a lot of people, myself included, like, it's hard sometimes to hear them. So, for me, I get my messages through other people or through synchronicities that happen, but I haven't been able to really connect one on one. So, like, I would like to get to that level. So, how do you do
Yeah.
it?
So I would absolutely love to tell this right now because I just did it today. I
Well, you do
so
it every day, right?
yeah, this is the one part where I'm gonna sound a little bit annoying. You have to put the work in. Okay, now that that's out of the way, um, I'll tell you how I do it. So I started meditating as a child, and why I started the spiritually closeted account is to help people do what I'm exactly about to say. But I want to do it in like a series, and I want to slowly do it so I can like help a lot of people do it all at once, kind of like a free class or something. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this exactly the same since I was a child, and I swear by the method. For me, I am the type of person who is highly type A and like I need to do everything by the book. So I've never taken a class. I've never done any like shaman work with like a personal healer or teacher or a guide. I've done a couple of online courses and stopped after the first paragraph. And even though I paid for them, I've never Googled what's going on with my hypnosis meditation. I don't want to keep going to prove to you that I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's why it works because
Mm-hmm.
I could not figure out how to meditate until I talked to my inner child and asked her how I don't want to start crying because this story always gets me, but I used to go deep into the woods as a child to run away from home to escape. It was so loud and I was really made fun of and a freak and a weirdo, as a lot of us who are on this channel, both these channels probably were told. And I would get dead silent and I would connect in with the trees and the breeze and the birds and I could hear everything. I could feel the vibration. I could feel the earth's hum. And that was like how I first started meditating. And I love to talk. So for me, being silent in the woods was a big deal. And I carried that throughout until I found alcoholism. So what I do to meditate is once I figured out how I did it as a child, the door fucking flew open. I was like, oh, I used to connect to nature. So when I wanted to start doing the meditations, I needed to do, I wanted to do the self hypnosis because that's kind of what I used to do. I used to go in a trance as a kid, just standing there, eyes closed. So I knew I wanted to go the route of hypnosis meditation, which, in my opinion, that's what it's called because I've been told that's what it's called. But for me, it's just my meditation. But I closed my eyes and I put on some frequencies. So it depends on where I'm at. I also listen to the frequencies just throughout the day. If I'm getting a little stressed out or overwhelmed with the ADHD, can be really overwhelming with a toddler. Um, but I'll put on certain hertz for connecting with my higher power. I was told by them to use 88.8. And I was also told by a medium to use that because she answered the phone call like 88, 88, 8.8. I was like, all right, I'll listen to that. But I connect in by doing deep breathings. And I don't even know. This is why I want to do this series because, like I told you, I get down to like 5 breaths a minute. It's all about breath work and using. And how do I always explain this? I see without my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you were saying, when you went to hypnosis, you had hypnotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that man inside of you as a child, like little inner, tiny little Alex, teaching you what you already know.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need an outside person to talk to your spirit guides because this is just when I talk like that, I'm talking about me. So if you want to try what I do, I hope it works. But when I talk to my spirit guides, I'm talking to myself. And if I ever feel like I forget, I ask my inner child because she used to do it all the time. So I can highly guarantee, like I could almost guarantee, especially us being a lot alike, if you really sat in silence, like your mind, closed your eye, tried to open your third eye with a frequency, it could take up to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what your inner child is trying to remind you about your hip self hypnosis, self meditation, because we all do it. It's how people used to heal themselves in ancient time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like been proven now. It's being proven all over.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, and personally, I really do like after this live, I think we should text about it tonight. But like, I really do want to like follow you on this journey because it's so interesting to me that I could even possibly help somebody else get to that point.
Yeah. I like meditated a little bit today, but I didn't have much time, so I did it for like 15 minutes. But whatever, anything is good. But because, like,
Yeah,
thinking about the fact that you do 2 hours a day of
two
meditation in the
hours.
morning and at night, like, that is so much time. I'm like, oh my God,
hmm
that is so
With a
much time.
toddler, with a content creator, with everything else that I'm doing. I have play groups, I have groceries, I have bills, I have normal shit, plus the TikToks, plus the Instagram, plus whatever. I'm busy, but I don't want to lose what I've gained. So I'm going to keep doing it. And when did we all start having this gain of self confidence and self worth? We were at home during the pandemic. I'm
Right.
not giving this up because I had to go
Yeah.
back to work. I'm going
Yeah.
to find a way to make it work because for once in my life, I'm fucking happy.
Yeah. Somebody said in the comments it's addicting. It really is. Like, once
It
you
is.
tap into it, you get really addicted. And I was telling Chelsea, have you done plant medicine at all?
Well, with my sobriety, it's funky with that. I'm funky with that. Um, I, but I have been told that if Jen's on here, Jen, if you're on my live, maybe she can give you some insight because she's a medicinal mushrooms taker. But yeah, I've been told what I'm describing my meditation is like doing mushrooms.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, when you describe what you see, which, by the way, we have to get more into that, like, when you
I knew
get
you were
in
gonna say that.
there, it really is like being on, yeah, on some plant medicine. Somebody did want to clarify, is it 88.8 or 8.8? Because on your video, you wrote 8.8.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So this is the thing with I'm gonna make a playlist. I know you're gonna. Bless you. I know it
Thank
might
you.
seem like it should matter.
Oh, no. You froze. Okay.
Sorry, yes, it should matter, and that's not what I meant by that. But I meant is it can be 8.8 or 8.8 or 8 when you are channeling in, and you pick out which frequency works for you, because you'll feel some that don't feel good on your ears. Maybe that frequency is not for you and your higher power. You'll find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it took me a long time to find out that that's because I wanted the low grade, like I wanted like the 1, the 0.5, like I wanted to be like astroplaning, like I wanted to be, and then my higher power was like, no, skirt back up because apparently I was already like in that state. I was already listening to that frequency. That's why I have the ringing in my ears. As soon as
Oh,
I switched it to a higher frequency, I could tune in. I have a whole
okay.
theory, a side theory about the Earth's ohm is 7.83. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I am. But that's like the ohm, the frequency. I think that the reason why I had to switch was because with the new Earth coming in, I think it went up from 7.83, whatever it is, to 8. I think it's just a tiny little bit, and that's like the Mandela effect. This is just my personal
Mm-hmm.
theory. That's what the Mandela effect is, the splitting of the Earth. I could hear it, and all of a sudden, I had to switch the frequency because I wasn't in that one anymore.
Oh, that's so crazy. I did watch a TikTok yesterday. Somebody tagged me in a TikTok where it was talking about, we have this timeline and it was supposed to end in 2012, which it was supposed to end in 2012, but because, we had higher dimensional beings here helping everybody wake up, it didn't end in 2012, so it created another timeline and then we were supposed to end there, but because everybody started their awakening around 2020, the timeline shifted to a third timeline, which is why we're seeing so many Mandela effects, because we really are living in like timelines merged into one now and everyone's like, what's happening?
One after another, after another,
Yeah.
after another, after another.
Yeah.
But I really
Um,
think that that's why I had to switch from the seven, because normally I have the Earth's ohm, or like, a good 4 through 6 was fine. But now I had to go up to 8. It wasn't working.
somebody said, so to go from ringing in the ear to the actual message, we have to up our frequency because you
We
had
have
ringing in.
to. I've had ringing in my ear since 2012. It started in 2012. That's just the truth. I know that sounds made up because it's like, of course it did start in 2012 when the fucking world ended. But
Yeah.
that's just the truth. That's when I started getting the visions, the snow vision, and when my
Oh,
ears started ringing at the exact same week. I went to the hospital because of it. I thought I had a
that's,
brain tumor. I don't.
oh
So
my
I
God.
don't know. I think it's like, well, the spiritual awakening. This is scary stuff. I feel like it's been shoved into our lives that it's scary, and that, like, I just had somebody comment on my video the other day that the devil was going to kill me, and I had to like take it off. But it's like, because I was talking about frequency or Reiki or something, and it's like, that's totally fine, and I wish nothing but love and light for them. But my point is that, like, that scares me to hear that, and so I like kind of want to get away from that. And so I don't know. It was hard for me to like with the can, like, I thought I had a brain tumor because spirituality was my whole life. I was told that's like scary or bad or witch voodoo.
Hmm.
And it's just me listening. It's the most beautiful thing I could possibly do for myself, is listen to
Right.
my inner self
Right.
who's
And that's
having
what
a
we all should be
spiritual
doing.
awakening.
That's what we
Yeah.
all need to be doing, is looking within. So like I had a meeting earlier today with somebody who's helping me organize with like what my goal is with my brand, like what am I going to do, what am I offering, and like I was talking to my sister about it and I was like, maybe I could do one-on-ones and stuff like that, but then I'm like, I don't want people coming to me like, one, like I'm their therapist, and two, like I have all the answers, because I don't have all the answers. I'm just going through this journey along with everyone. I'm just a few steps ahead than a lot of people who are like you and I are a few steps ahead than a lot of the people who are just learning. And so we're here to just be like, hey, this is what works for me. If you guys want
Hmm.
to try it. If not, find out, because you have the answers within yourself. And so whenever people come to me for answers and like, can you help me? Can you guide me? I'm like, you have to look within. That is the entire point of this awakening, is looking within. We have the answers. We just have to remember them. And
Yes,
like,
that's what I
you
said to you
obviously,
in the beginning. This is
yeah,
something I have known since I was a child. I was put on this planet to make people, not make, that's bad, poor choice of words, to help people remember who they used to be. I do this all the
exactly.
time with people. I can't
Yeah.
help it.
Yeah. That's already ingrained in you.
Yeah, and now I want to do it because there's such thing as the internet. Now I get to help more people. And because I'm not drinking all the time and I'm sober, I was able to stay sober long enough to see, holy shit, I'm getting really better at this. Holy shit, I should probably help some people. Oh my gosh, I've been supposed to be helping people this whole time.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people like you and I meet.
Yeah.
There's a reason why our videos go viral. When you're living like authentically and you're happy and you're vibrating, it's literally it's a science. We're vibrating on a different frequency. Everybody else is coming to join us and they're like, whoa, what the fuck is this shit? And we're like, over here, over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. It's so true. It's like, we were always like the outsiders. We were seen. I was just saying this yesterday. I was like, everybody who was made fun of and called a weirdo and called the loser are going to be the cool ones now. And everyone that was seen as cool before is not going to be so cool. I was telling my friend, going through healing yourself, healing your trauma, and going through this journey is really, now it's kind of like the cool thing to do, because like, who doesn't want to heal themselves and be the best version of themselves that they can possibly be? Because when you're sitting here like worrying so much about the outsider's perspective and everything on the outside instead of looking within, you're never happy, because you're always trying to find happiness in other things, in your job or in your in your relationship or in your friends or in your family. And it's like, why don't you fix yourself first? Like, let's look at us instead of looking with the outside of us and being like, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and be like, am I good enough? Like, let's be the best version I can be. Because I was never true to myself because of my upbringing with very religious trauma. And so I wasn't happy. So I knew deep inside this just didn't make sense. The shit that I was being taught just did not make sense. And so now that I can break free of that and break through all the fucking shit that's been imposed on me because of my whole upbringing, I feel so much happier now being me. And that's when the success started coming, because I stopped hiding who I was and trying to be someone who I wasn't. I mean, yeah, I also did the serving skits, as you know, and I started that in January of 2020, and that was great. I had like the same amount of followers as you. Like, I have 140K on that account, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna do my dream of being this actor that I always wanted to do. And it wasn't until I was 100% true to myself and started talking about all this weird shit that nobody ever wanted to talk about. All of a sudden I hit 1 million, and I'm like, where did this come? It happened in like 4 months time. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like,
I watched it happen.
It's literally confirmation that the minute that you start being true to yourself and talk about what you attract the people who you're supposed to be around, because then you find like your soul family again. And people keep telling me like, I'm so connected to you. I feel so connected to you. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like I've met you before. And I'm like, I don't know. I clearly had like my brain completely wiped from whatever happened before this, but other people remember me and they'll tell me that. And I'm like, I guess I had to forget everything to get to where I am now. And who knows what the fuck is going to happen in the future. But it's a fun journey to be on. Once you're on it, it's like every day is fun, because you're like, oh my God, like what's next? Instead of dreading every day like I used to. I was like, oh my God.
When you opened your eyes just a little bit, you will find that this fucking planet is filled with magic and light and love.
Yes.
I was a cynical asshole, okay?
Me too.
For most of my young adult life, all my 20s. Okay, guys? Like, I mean, like, nasty. Alcoholic. I mean, like, I had a great job. I was making good money, and I drove a nice car, and I had nice things. I went on nice vacations. But I was an asshole, and I was miserable, and I was not myself. And then when I got sober, oh, gee whiz, and I had spiritual awakening, and when my son was born in 2020 and all these things started happening, now I'm my authentic self. But
when did you end up going sober? 2020?
2017.
2017.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just no coincidence that now all of a sudden I have a following.
Right.
What's changed? My spirituality, my happiness, my sobriety.
Yeah.
Me being who I'm supposed to be. Because it's the same comedian across the board, right? Like, I'm the same funny, even though I was an asshole. You see comedians get sober all the time. They're still hilarious, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I love doing the comedy stuff, but it was so negative. It's so negative sometimes. I wanted a space where I can turn on my live and be like, I fucking saw a UFO. Like, I couldn't do that on Chelsea Rose Fitzy. They'd be like, bring us back the guy that says runner. Like, they're not gonna,
I know. When I was what's crazy for me is like I had my Alex Serves account, and then it started blowing up like it started blowing up the minute that COVID hit, because everybody was on TikTok. So I was at this point right here, and then I had to move across the country, and so my momentum slowed down because I was moving. I had to stop posting for a minute, everything. So it kind of went like this, like the moment passed, right? And then it's like, when I came back, it's like everyone was doing the same shit I was doing. So I wasn't any different than anyone else, even though nobody was doing the style I was doing at the time. Like, I started before everybody was on TikTok, and I don't give a shit what people say. Nobody was doing my style before that. Whatever. It was a whole drama thing. Once I started talking about that shit, people wanted to say, no, that's not true. Whatever. Anyway, the point is, I know my truth. I know the truth. People just want to fucking argue. But at the time, I like lost that because I was moving, and then I started posting videos that were more about like my personal life. And my sister was like, you cannot be putting this on this account. People want to see your skits. If you want to start doing that, you got to make a different account. My sister's a social media manager, which I feel like if I tell people that, they think like she's the one who helped me get here. She really didn't. She refuses. She's like, you are a PR nightmare. I will not partner with you. She was like, you
Yeah,
will not.
family doesn't want to help you with stuff like that, especially if that's what they do.
No, exactly.
That's
She's
too
like, I
close. It's
work.
too
Yeah,
close.
it's her job. It's her job. She doesn't want to do that on her spare time either. But she will give me some pointers, and she's like, you've got to do a different page. So that's when I started Alex Serves Tea. This was my backup, and like it's crazy because one of the first few videos I made was about. Do you guys ever feel like you're living in a simulation? I feel like I'm living in the Truman Show. I feel like people are watching me, and I was like, nobody's fucking watching this account, so I didn't give a shit. So I just started talking about random shit, and then that's when I posted the video like in January of 2021 about the clocks glitching and all the time being off. And I got called crazy. And all of a sudden, now everybody's catching up to the stuff I was talking about a year and a half ago. So it's like, that's just how my life plays out. I always talk about stuff first. Nobody believes me and then it catches up. But it's crazy that this account started off with me just like being myself and talking about random shit. And like now it did a full circle where I came back to that. And now that's what I was meant to be doing the entire time. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's so funny you said that. So when I was channeling, somebody asked me a question that came all the way from your life to mine. So I want to answer that. But while this is on my mind, so with the thing with my page with Chelsea Rose Fitzy with the comedy skit. So I'm a comedian at heart. I came out of the womb making jokes. Like that's just how I deal with life, and which I'm trying to get better at. But I also would like to give myself the credit for just being a funny fucking person, and people like to listen to my jokes. So trying to also say that out loud is very hard to say. So I want to keep that account, and it's really important for me because it's very like I'm just good at it. I'm good at the writing. I'm good at the editing. I'm good at all of it, and I like doing it,
I
and it's
love your
fun.
style now with like the office style with the zoom ins
Thank
and
you,
stuff. So good.
thank you. And then everybody all started getting microphones on TikTok, and I'm like, here we go. With not from the video the other day, but from the office style. That I saw two other people who do restaurants do office styles after me, and I was like, you're welcome, because that's what we needed because we were all kind of plateauing. But anyway, I always wonder why I don't get the momentum that other people get. Is it because I'm a female? Is it because I don't wear makeup? Is it because, well, I don't always get like glammed up. I'm doing characters, but then there's these other women who are doing characters. Is it because they're prettier than me, taller than me, skinnier than me? Like I'm 4'11" on Nantucket. Like, does TikTok not want to help me make money for my kids? Like, because I'm on the creator fund. Like, I make brand deals. People clearly think I'm talented. So where's the followers? I had
Mm-hmm.
Christine Snaps on my podcast, and she was saying the same thing. She's like, I don't understand where your followers are. Like, I have six
Yeah.
million, and you have what? She's like,
Yeah.
your writing is insane. And I always said, like, that's all I want to do is be a writer. I don't even want to be on the fucking screen. I don't even want to be an actress. I want to be somebody who like manipulates words to make somebody have a good day. Like, that's what I like to do. Anyway, I'm just saying, I want to keep this page, but I do need a space. What was I saying about the followers? Somebody help me. Sorry, my ADHD is really bad.
Well, you started off saying like I want to keep this page. It's important to me. Like
Yeah, it
you're
is. I do. But and because it makes me happy. But my point is about the where are the followers? Is it because okay, my higher powers. I got it. So then I said to my higher powers, why am I not getting like my higher being, my greater source when I was meditating? I rarely ever ask for anything. I rarely ever. I'm not a foxhole meditator or prayer person, so I don't go to them when I need answers. But I was kind of like I've been putting in a lot of work here. I say it out loud before the meditation
yeah.
to my room because you'll get a
Yeah.
sign. You just gotta open your eyes, baby. They're in there. And
Oh
anyway,
no, hold on.
they're there.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want you to lose your train of thought. But I did want to say that I had a similar experience where out loud, somebody came to me and said, "Hey, your spirit guides need you to call for them because you're not calling for them, so they
Yeah,
cannot help you." And I was like, I don't know anything about this, so I said out loud, "What do you want? You're gonna have to talk to me because I don't know how to
that's
do
how
this."
I
And
talk to
it
them.
was and no joke, it was like the next. That's when all of a sudden download after download after download, and I was like, "Holy shit!" My brain was like exploding. They're like, "Well, you called for us." I'm like, "Oh
That's
my
so
god."
funny because that's what I call them too. Downloads. I've never heard you say that. Wait, no, have I?
I don't
Have
know.
I
I
ever
just
heard you
started
say
calling them
down?
downloads because I was like, "Dude, I don't know how to call this," so I just started calling them downloads, which a lot of people call them
Okay, I'm probably just like picking it up from the internet. But I started calling them that a while back. But probably I've definitely heard it online. But so
So you talk
I
to them
said,
out loud before you do your meditation.
yeah, this one time, and I said, what do you want? I have sent 6 emails to TikTok. I have spoken correctly. I've talked to somebody at TikTok about why I don't have a following. I'm my under review. They're following me around. They're making sure I don't get views. Other people try to post. Under the Desk News did a whole thing about me. Hardly any
They
views
did?
on her video. Yes, they did.
What?
Yeah. You'll never see the video because TikTok's a conspiracy theory to keep me in the dark.
That is so weird. I think it's because
Christine Snaps
I
did the
think it's
same
because
thing.
you're more
Barely.
powerful than it's the same thing that happened to me. It's like we have so much power
Listen,
within us
that's what
and
my
they
higher
know it.
power said. Yes, that's what my higher
Oh,
power
really?
said. Yes, they said you need to stop trying to make what I heard was stop trying to make the skits work like really slow and rude like that. And I was like, that's definitely my higher power because
Wait,
that's
so how do
that's
you
some shit.
hear it? How do you hear it when they said this
It's
to you?
so
How was it?
this was something I shut off as a child. I told you this in the podcast. I was
Uh-huh.
so sick and tired of hearing the voices because somebody at school told me I was schizophrenic. How they knew that word, I don't know. I'm remembering it wrong. Probably they probably called me crazy, and I probably asked my mom, "What does it mean when you hear voices?" Right? It's
Mhm.
probably what happened. And I said, "I'm done. I don't want to hear these voices anymore," and I shut it off. And it wasn't until this last 6 months that I started hearing them again, and it's not often. It's not often, and it's in my own voice. It used to be a different voice when I was a kid, and it's like that. I'm doing this because it's back here, and it comes in. Oh. It comes in like a download, like thought is happening. I'm hearing the thought before I can think it.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can
And so they
hear
said stop
stop
trying to make the kids.
trying to make the skits work. So not
When
and it
was this?
wasn't and it was a couple weeks ago. And the message I got, it wasn't we're not going to let that page blow up. We're not going to let you make money off that page anymore because the gifts were coming. Do you understand? Like
Yeah.
I made that video about the Dunkin' deal. I just went to Gillette Stadium today, and Foxborough asked me to come record an episode there. I got offered to do a movie. Remember, I told you the Amazon Prime, the production company who called me and asked me if I wanted to be in their movie. And
Yeah.
then Dunkin' Donuts asked me if I want to be on their ad campaign. So you want to be on my podcast. I mean, like, could these people recognize me and want to be around me and want me to help them with their stuff, with their product, but I don't have the followers.
Mhm.
So something isn't making sense to me.
Right.
And whether it be the TikTok people who don't want me to be known, or I piss somebody off that works at corporate, like
I
who
used to say
knows?
that all the time. I'm like, I
Um,
clearly have
or
somebody pissed off.
or it's just my path is not I'm not supposed to be well known for that.
Right.
It's something else, and I just don't
Yeah.
see it yet.
Yeah.
And that's
And
when I was like, all right, come on. What's important here? It always comes back to that. What's important?
yeah.
Is it really
And
that
you
important for me?
I know, and you just have like you have so much power within you that it's like playing these characters is masking it and it's keeping you from digging deeper into your own self.
Well, that's the thing. It's keeping me from digging into myself on the public eye. On private, I've been doing this for a long time.
Mhm.
So let's get into the hypnosis stuff because you wanted to ask me like what I see. So I know that if you want to go the route, if somebody was like coming into meditation and they want to go the route of doing everything the right way or mainstream or Buddhist way or Hinduism way, there's all different kinds of ways that you can find in meditation. In my opinion, it can be yours. You can own it and you can make it what you want. That's what I did. And I go into like hypnosis. So I put myself into a self trance. And when I do that, um, I know that there's technical levels and there's actual like vocabulary that I should be using. But again, the messages that I'm getting are that keep doing this the way that you're doing it. Send the information out the way that you're doing it because there are people that don't want to do it that way, that want to know it's okay to do it the way you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message I'm getting. So unfortunately now I know like I'm talking about something without using the terminology, which what even is scripture? Like what even is terminology? Like sometimes I'm just like it's just a bunch of words. I can tell you how
Right.
I feel. I can tell you what's happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved on from something, I can tell you this. I know at some point about 3 years in, I started doing every day, twice a day. So it was once a day for a long time, twice a day. You ask me how I do that with a toddler. I do it when he naps and I do it before he goes to sleep. An hour when he naps for 3 hours, an hour when he goes to sleep. So if you work, I'm assuming maybe you would do it before bed if you wanted to do an hour a day. Um, but I got kind of at a level now where I had to start doing something else because it kind of was at a plateau. So I started to try to meditate with my eyes open but see nothing. And so that took about a year-ish. And hi Nate, my podcast host is here. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I can now meditate with my eyes open, but I don't see anything. It's as if my eyes are shut. Um, but right now I can only do that for before I blink. And when I blink, it resets. So it's like, how long can you go without blinking?
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
like, how do
can
you do
zone out.
that?
Yeah, and what happens is it goes like this, like a
Yeah.
and it's a purple blue light. Sometimes with the snow vision, I can get like fun little shapes, geometric shapes. It's always like correct geometric shapes as well. Like it's bizarre. Um, you know how I started realizing it is that I can put this is the weirdest part. I can put my son to sleep. I might get some shit up for this, but I don't care. It's the truth. I can put my son to sleep by putting my thumb on his third eye once I've gone into trance. So I'll go into trance before I go into my room when I'm putting him to sleep. He's 2, very hyper. So I put my thumb on him. I can do this to dogs and cats too. And there's a bunny in my yard. I'm so close to doing it to the fucking bunny that lives under my deck. I'm so this close to thumbing that fucking bunny. No, yeah. So and it all started with him because I would stare, and when you're staring in your third eye, somebody else's, when you're staring at something and your eyes cross, you get 3, right? So I see his third eye. You could like see it, but it's really just my eyes crossing right onto his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I realized that I was starting to stare for so long. That's a form of meditation, eyes open and staring and thinking nothing. I kind of realized that I wasn't seeing anything anymore. And it was just like my eyes were shut, but my eyes were wide open because when I blinked, I kind of realized what I was doing. So that's how I came across meditating with your eyes open. What do I get out of that? It's fucking addicting because it's like hallucination, like, but you're seeing it. So I see the
Right.
walls breathe. I'll see, mostly I like looking at my door breathe. It's really cool. But I really try to think nothing. The only thing that I feel though is 100%, 1,000,000,000,000,000% pure love. Like the day my son was born, love. That's how I feel. I smile from ear to ear. Sometimes I fucking cry. I kid you not. Nothing has changed my life more than I'm covered in goosebumps. Nothing has changed my life more than meditating with my eyes open. It's
Wow.
insane.
That's crazy. Like,
Insane.
yeah, like I just don't know how you don't get distracted. Like I am so distracted by my own thoughts. Like I
Once I started calling myself, this is like a silly little thing. Try this. You don't have to use my words. I decided one day that my brain, my subconscious mind was like silly putty. And I just started saying that all the time. I would randomly think it throughout the day. And basically, what that meant to me, you can come up with your own terminology, but this really helped me let go of what you're talking about. Like, how did you not get distracted? This is what I
yeah.
did. I just would I would tell people like I'm talking to you. Oh, they go, I don't know how you do that. I go, oh, my mind's like silly putty. I can just fall into any shape you need. I can go into any state of subconscious you need me to. Like my brain's like, oh, like I would just start making jokes, and then after you say that for so long, you start to believe it. And so when
Right.
I get into my meditation, which by the way, I'll show you guys all how to get into the position. I'd be like, oh, I'm such a silly. I'm gonna be out like, and I'm gonna be meditated in trance in about 5 minutes, and then like you stop thinking. I do my whole like body check and get serious. But like because I've been saying my brain is this like beautiful piece of silly putty that's able to bend in any way at any time, it started to become my reality. And as we
Right.
know, manifesting is a real thing. And so my brain became pliable to frequencies. It just became, it's so sensitive to all of that now. And that's why the snow vision got more intense in the past couple of years, because I've like convinced myself that it's getting better. It's strengthening. And now it's just like, it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
It's 555 here. So you said that like right at 555.
Oh, that's fun.
That's so true though. Like if I say, "Oh, I can't meditate. I just get distracted." My brain is going to always think, "You can't meditate. You're distracted." So I have to start speaking it into existence. Like, yes, I meditate. I connect with my spirit guides daily, every day. I set my intentions. I connect with them. They talk to me. I'm connecting to my higher self. Like that's really what we have to do. I mean, that's how I did it with my following. I was like, oh my God, I hit, 1 million followers. Like, I'm so excited. I can't, and I hadn't done that, but like, that's how you reach what you want. You have to speak it into existence and act as if it already happened. And then it happens.
Yes, that's what happened to me with just I just decided my brain was able to shut down like this. I never have gotten anything done like what you were saying, how you want maybe do one-on-ones with somebody. Like I had never done a one-on-one with somebody before, but I'm trying to work through some lost memory. So I actually needed help with Alex and I talked about this, but I held a lot of trauma, as we all do, in my root chakra. Again, I hate sounding like this, but no doctor, no chiropractor could fix me in like a 10, 20-mile radius. My back, I've been going to my back to get my back fixed since I was like in second or third grade. My mom said she would take me to the chiropractor. It's all in the same spot. I've had
Dude,
x-rays.
same.
There's nothing. I don't
Where is
have
it? In your
scoliosis.
lower back?
Yes.
Dude,
So
I have
finally,
horrible pain in my lower back, and it's been my
yes.
entire life.
Dude, is your nose been running and have you been getting rashes? Because
I
somebody else
haven't
I
been
know
getting
that's going
rashes, but
through.
I have had a runny nose lately, like allergies, which is really random because I don't really get allergies in San
Somebody
Diego.
else I know has that same mysterious rash that I do, and they've been going through like that spiritual crap, or wait, I called it crap, spiritual awakening. Um, and the symptoms I have right now are crazy,
Well, I
crazy.
saw that you're doing Reiki. I'm like, oh my God, I want to do
Okay, so
Reiki.
that's what I want to tell you. No, I had that Reiki done, is what I'm saying, which I had never done it because, like I told you, I was just kind of like, I want to do my own thing and I don't want to know how to do something until I really feel like I'm stuck and I need help. Like, I don't want to label myself as anything. But then I go in and she goes, I channeled to her first before we started because I wanted to know if she was like legit and I wanted to know if I was legit.
Right.
So we're sitting there and she goes, I'll get to the lower chakra when we get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's okay. I hear your request. And I was like, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Like I finally, that was all I needed. Like the rest of my life began.
That's amazing. I want to
Isn't
do
that
Reiki.
crazy? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so this is happening. She goes, yeah. And I said, you could ask her. I wish I could have her on, but I said, Mo, my brain's like silly putty. And she's like, I can see that. She's like, you're very, very connected. She's like, you're very ready for this appointment. She's like, you were like tapping at my cosmic door like 20 minutes ago. And I was like, I was. I was trying
That's
to
so
see if like this was
awesome.
legit. But like,
That's so awesome.
yeah, so the Reiki was really cool. She told me everything I already knew, and I think she kind of got like annoyed at me saying, but you already knew that. So that's like kind of why I don't know if that's the route I'll need to go. So next week I have an appointment with a shaman on Nantucket. So we'll see what she says. She's like a light being. I've seen her before, and she helped me through some past trauma about Alex. We need to do another because I have to go soon, but we need to do another live about past life relationships and the cosmic crosshairs because I had a cosmic, well, it's not cosmic. I had a crosshair happen through different lifetimes where I felt this like overwhelming sense of guilt and I knew it wasn't mine. And I would say this to all my friends that I went to see this person I'm seeing next 2 weeks from now. And she was like, and I said, I have karma that's not mine. She goes, oh, okay. And then she like it was normal. And I was expecting her to be like, what? Come again?
Yeah.
But she was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we'll check it out. She goes, oh, okay, it's this woman. She has a low ponytail, low like, curly hair, whatever, blue button up. And it was my ex girlfriend. She's like, oh yeah, you guys aren't supposed to break up. And I'm like married with a son. And she's like, you have been together for an umpteen amount of lives, and it's happening now, it's happening then, it's all happening at the same time. She's like, I don't have time to explain that to you, but I'm going to go talk to her and tell her that it's not this life. All the other ones you can have her, but not this one. She has other plans. Like, she has other places to be. It's not this one. And when I
Oh
tell
my,
you that that fucking dropped like a bag of hot, like fucking lead potatoes off my chest, I walked out of there like, dun, 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 dun. Like, I felt
how
like
did you
a
know that you
free
had
bird.
someone else's karma? Like, how did you
I
figure that out?
when I this is why I'm telling you I need to make a spiritual TikTok and I need to talk to more people, because I don't
Yeah.
know how to answer that for you other than I just do. And I hope somebody
Mhm.
else can understand that and then not feel alone. There's no way
Yeah.
I could explain that. I just knew.
Wow.
I would say it to my friend Anna. I would say we both have children at the same age, and our daughter and our my son and her daughter are best friends. It's so cute because we're best friends. I can't even handle it. But anyway, I walked up to her and I was like, I have somebody else's karma from another life. I don't know what to do about this. She's, but like I used to tell her all the time, like I just have all this guilt and it's not mine, and I know that I'm doing the right thing, and I'm not supposed to be with her. It's like obvious. It's like, so we're not even in love. Like we didn't love each other, but it felt like I had to be with her. It was like this weird existence of like I met her one day and I was like, I had to be with her, and I guess like here we go. Like that's how the whole relationship always felt forced, but like almost an obligation, like a arranged marriage. And then when we broke up, I felt this guilt, but I was not happy when I was in the relationship. It made no sense. And then I see
Yeah.
this lady and she's like, oh, yes. And she described her like all these different lives, not even as women, but like we were men, we were brother, brother, we were husband, wife, we were dog and dog's friend. Like she's just like always together, but not this one. This one, I have to have my son and my husband. It's like very important that I'm on this path with these people. That I want to
Wow.
do a
That's
whole thing
intense.
on. Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
one of the most. I would like to, because that was in 2020. So like this is the shit I'm telling you that I have been keeping in the spiritual closet and telling nobody because of how it sounds. Right? If I was saying this in the colonial time, I'd be burned at the stake.
So you met your husband after 2020?
No, 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 no. We met. I just went to go see that person about the guilt because I couldn't take it anymore. It was
Oh, okay.
years and years of guilt.
Okay.
I was just
Yeah.
like, ugh, it's not mine. I don't want it. Get it off.
That's
And it
so
wasn't
nuts.
me.
That's so
It
crazy that
wasn't
you could.
me. And she brought me to them and we talked it out. And that's how I finally knew. And they said to me, oh, in 2023, October, big things will happen. My honeymoon, a psychic told me that. The psychic on my honeymoon, I walked in, she goes, oh, do you know who you are? And I was like, what does that mean? And then this person said, oh, do you know who you are? I'm like, what does that mean? And then I just got a medium last week, that girl Molly I sent you on TikTok. She said the same thing. She's
Hmm.
like, do you know how powerful you are? Why are you here right now? I should be listening to you. Like, I was like, what's happening? Why is everybody saying that?
Yeah.
And then it was like,
That's so crazy.
and I'm not kidding you when I tell you that following you, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but following you was the push, because I know I can be bold, honest. Even if I didn't want to be honest, I have highly bad, really bad, really bad impulse problems because of my ADHD. I just fucking tell people diarrhea. I can't help it. And so why wouldn't I take all of that energy and put it somewhere where it could do good instead of, I mean, like making
Right.
people laugh all the time. I love that. I'm not going to stop, but switching that energetic like honesty part and like the loudness of myself and the brutally myself, I don't fucking care attitude needs to be somewhere else that can help people heal, because I don't have much time left on this planet. It's going to go like this. And
Hmm.
then following you
Right.
made me think, holy shit, I don't have to do this alone. I have Alex. I have people like Alex. I have friends like, I'll make more friends like Alex. And it's just been this like whole journey. And my co-host, Nate, that's how we became co-hosts. Through I gave him a reading without his permission. I made him cry on our first podcast together. I was a guest on his sobriety podcast, made the man cry on his own podcast without asking permission to start giving him messages from his inner child because the inner child was screaming at him. And since he's met me, his whole life is different. Not that it has anything to do with me, but it's just the
Right.
path that he's on. I'm on the same path. Of course we met.
Exactly.
Of course I gave him that message. Of course he helped me slow things down and see the bigger picture. Of course I helped him speed things up and get his shit together. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to hide anymore. I wanted a place to do what you do because we are one and the same, but we do it differently. And that's why I love you. I just think you're really great. I really do. It's
Thank
really,
you.
really
I
scary.
feel like I am like how you were like, what does this mean? I'm like even in a lower level than you are, but like I know there's so much packed in here that I do not know yet.
Right.
But I'm so like I feel like just like a baby just
Oh
was
my
born
God,
and
stop.
is like, okay,
Stop,
now
stop, stop. You're freaking me out. No, I'm not getting freaked out.
why did you say that?
No, but it was the message that I was about to tell you, but I didn't want to cut you off. But the message that I was getting just now, and I'm not, I have to prove it to my people. I'm getting my goosies, so that's when you know I'm connected. That's how I get them. I've always gotten goosebumps. Like the tiniest little thing will give me goosebumps, and I've always been so aware, hyper aware of it. You don't get them for nothing. You get them so you can stand on alert to be alert. That's what it is. That's why like the hair on the cat's back goes up, the dog's ears perk. You need to be alert. It's your body saying something's up. Pay attention because
Pay
you'll see it.
attention. Yeah.
You'll see it. And what it happened was it was saying she's just such a little baby sleeping still. Like that's what I heard. And then you said, it's like I'm a baby. And I was like, ah!
Yeah.
Like I literally heard your
No,
voice,
that's
but like
literally how I feel.
older.
It's
It was
like
like older you saying, she's just a little baby. She's still sleeping. She'll get there.
I was going around work yesterday saying the TikTok sound. I was like, I'm just a baby.
What?
Have you heard that one?
Are you kidding me?
Have you heard the
No,
Have you heard the
Alex.
TikTok sound where the little girl's like, I'm just a baby?
No.
I kept saying that at work yesterday because I love that sound. I'm just a baby. And I'm like, that's literally how I feel. But I know that I know the truth inside me, but like I don't know it yet. And so I'm like, I'm so confused, but I'm figuring it out as I'm going. And then people are like, oh my God, you've helped me so much. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm doing this because I'm just figuring it out as I go. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, I know I'm not asleep as I was before. I'm obviously waking up more every day, and I'm awake to the matrix. I'm awake to the facade. I'm awake to that, but like I'm not fully awake yet to where I can fully say like, you know, I can't sit here and list all the powers that I have because I don't know what they are yet. I'm still discovering them. And I'm the type of person that likes to go from point A to point Z with just jumping. I don't want to walk it. And that's how I've been my whole life. I would go here to here. I don't want to walk it. And like they're telling me like you have to walk it. You have to walk through every step because what's coming, it's like you're not ready. You will literally your mind will be so blown that like you can't just jump from here to there because you can't handle it. You have to go through every step for you to get it. Oh my God. And I had a meditation, which I don't know if I had told you about it, but I had a meditation where I was meditating out in the park and I had this experience where I saw everything. Like after meditating, I saw everything looked so fake. It looked like I was in a reality game. I saw everyone turn into like NPCs. Like the trees were fake, the sky was fake, the airplanes were fake, and I legit had a panic attack. And I was like, I thought I was gonna like be like this was the rapture or something, which I don't believe in the rapture, but it felt like my energy was being pulled to some other dimension while my body was still here. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna leave this planet right now. Like, I can't leave my sister behind. Like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Please, I'm not ready. Please ground me again. I need to get grounded. I need to get grounded. I like sat on the grass. I was like touching the floor. I was like, come back to reality. Please come back to reality. Cause I don't know what happened.
Totally normal.
My consciousness went to like a different
Yeah.
dimension. And I was like, what the fuck? And that's when I realized, oh, I still have a lot of work to do, because just the thought of like, oh, I'll just leave to another dimension. It's like, oh no, I actually am not ready to leave yet. Like I have to work to get to that level. So that was such a scary experience to have, when it wasn't even like a physical car accident where you think you're going to die. It was literally just through meditation. That was
Yeah,
so
that
intense.
happens to me every single day, what you described, when your subconscious goes to another dimension. I do that every single day, depending, at least at the nighttime one, not maybe not during the afternoon. That's a little intense, but the
Yeah.
nighttime one for sure, I am out. It almost feels like when you're just about to fall asleep, but you stay there. Okay. And you get better and better at it, Alex, and it will get less scary and less scary and less scary and less scary. In the beginning, I used to think that I was going to stop breathing, or my son wasn't going to have a mom anymore, because my soul was never going to return. It just takes practice. It doesn't mean that it's, in my opinion, I don't think that it's your higher power saying you have to go from point A to point Z in a certain space, certain order. I don't think it's about any of that. I think you were actually experiencing hypnosis meditation, and your soul was trying to teach you a new technique and stretch it out and get out of that body and kind of feel around, because I honestly think, when you were speaking earlier, I didn't want to cut you off. I honestly think that you are definitely awake. And when I heard that you were asleep, and like you were saying, like you were asleep, but you're not as asleep, I think it's not, I think that you're so awake and that you're so conscious of who you are, but you have just, like, your past life, karmically, you're there. It's just this like body that's kind of like dusting it off. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have much. I don't think you're the type of soul that really has much to grow, because the knowledge is coming to you quick, and you're able to say it, and you're able to figure it out. And I've also seen you on your TikToks be able to take other information, mix it around, and push it out till it makes sense for you. You're not just taking
Right.
everything at face value and saying, well, that's what I believe now, and that's what I believe now. You're actually listening to what's happening inside your body, inside your mind. If you just know things like that's like clairsentient, which would be a pretty high up. It's like a higher than an empath, like I am. So you just know, and you don't know how you know, but you know because that's who you incarnated are. You are kind of this like higher, like an earth angel, like earthbound angel, or they're all throughout history. There's more of us because the earth needs us. It seems like there's a trillion of us because there's something called the internet, but I'm telling you, this has been going on since the beginning of time on this planet. And yeah, you know what you know because you are who you are, and you're not asleep in regards of like you have more to learn. It's you just have to fucking wake this body up and let's get going.
Remember it. Yeah, I just have to remember it.
Yes.
And I have been told the clear sentient thing, which I don't know, because I'm like, I've talked about this and people are like, yeah, it sounds like that's what you have. I'm like, what? Okay. And then I got told a lot by people in my life, like, you're literally like an angel on earth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm
Freak.
like, I'm
It's
such a
either
bitch.
freak or an angel. That's my two. You're a fucking freak. Oh my God, you're such heaven sent. It just all depends on if the person is standing in front of you, how big their ego is in the moment, how big your ego is in the moment, and are you able to both shed it and talk? And if so, I've normally people love me, but sometimes I
Well,
speak too truthfully or too truthful for some people, and it hurts their ego.
yeah.
And I'm
What
sorry,
you
and I am.
No, what first of all, somebody said like everybody, these aren't exclusive. Everybody has this, and it's true. Everybody
Yeah,
does have
yeah.
these powers. We just have to tap into them. And what you
I
said,
believe though truly that people just come here in this experience already programmed. Like they don't have to put much work in. It's like so close to the belt. Does that make sense? Like I think I came out of the womb feeling these energies and frequencies. There's a reason why when I was a kid I used to stare at my hand because I thought my hand was vibrating my whole life. I've always just known that I could read energies. And then you add trauma on top of that. People that go through trauma, we navigate things so much faster because we have to find a way to survive mentally. We have to.
True. No, I have heard that people who like are on this journey, you know, or get on this journey so much faster. It's because like we go through really rough upbringing. We have to go through that to get to here, so we can navigate. It's like survival
Right.
skills, and you learn how to survive. It's so true. And then I have
Right.
heard, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, my spirit
It's so
guides.
true.
I did do a reading, and they did say, that like my soul has been here. Like my soul knows. I just have to remember, but that I haven't. My soul is still like, it's weird. It's like I've lived these lives, but I died kind of young in each one. So it's like I've done it a lot of times, but my soul is still young. So like that's why I still find joy and excitement in these things. It's like I'm living it all over again for the first time because it feels like it's the first time, but I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's hard to explain. But they were like, that's why like your joy and excitement on figuring this out is gonna help bring joy and excitement to so many other people. Because for you, it's like you're living it for the first time, but you've done this before, you just can't remember. But because you're so excited to do this and finding it out, but because my soul knows it, it has the answers kind of faster than other people could. You know what I'm saying? So then it gets
Yeah.
everyone excited and are like, oh my God, yes, like that's what I've been thinking. Like that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, this is so exciting. But it's like my soul's like, girl, we've done this, but like this is
Yeah.
fun too. Sure, let's act like you don't remember it. But I'm like, but I don't remember it. I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
But like the answers are
It
there.
does.
The
It
answers
feels
are
like
there.
a
That's how I'm
duality.
able to. Yeah, it's and
I
what's
want to make.
crazy is
I
like
want to make.
since
Go ahead.
what I was gonna say was I'm crazy. What's crazy is ever since I was a kid, I was obsessed with like the yin yang sign, which is duality and polarity, and I had no idea what it meant. And I used to
Hmm.
just love it. I used to draw it. I used to buy jewelry with it. I used to buy keychains,
You're
and my mom
so
would be like,
weird.
"Nope, that's not."
Same.
And I didn't
Same.
know. I was just like, "I
Yeah.
like
I
it," and
had
my mom
tons.
would be
I
like,
had
"No,
shirts.
no,
I used to draw it with
yeah,
I used to
shirts."
draw it right here with eyeliner. I want to make one more point, and then I unfortunately do have to leave you, and I'm so sorry. But I think what I'm about to say, I think that you're gonna want to get back on and do another live about this. So I have, like I told you before, and you do the same thing where you like to either get a download or learn something from somebody else, like in the community, or read it, whatever, researching. I came up with this idea through just my own research and then watching Ancient Aliens. Something popped into my head the other night, like a really old episode, and I was like, what if, hear me out, this is kind of far fetched. Because I told you I was really getting into my blood. I have that A negative, like alien HR negative blood. And then in the HR negative family, I'm A negative, which is all the way back to like they have the most populations in Basque, and my dad is 95% Portuguese and then Basque. So that makes me 50% blood related to that's the why I have A negative blood. My mom has it too. It's really weird. My mom's not Portuguese though. But anyway, what if so after being into the genetics and like doing all this research and you're asking and you were just talking about how do I know all these things already? Well, I think that the body, this human body, is not an accident. I don't think I might lose a lot of followers. It's not evolution. It was designed specifically to be able to retain the genes. I'm talking about like our blood, our genetics. We're able to retain skills lived in other lives. That's why I think generationally people can have the same jobs as their father, like woodworking. Like this is an actual biological thing that's also happening, duality, along with our spiritual side. So these are people who like I came out, I was like, my sister was 3 and she could play the piano too. She could play the piano. I can play the piano. My father could play the piano. My grandmother played the piano. Everybody played the piano, but nobody ever taught their kid how to play the fucking piano. That's not spiritual. I think that's more genetics. And so genetics can play a huge role into this. Because whether I want to admit it or not, yes, I'm a spiritual being having a spiritual experience during a spiritual awakening on this stupid planet that I love so much. But at the same time, I am actually in a human body who is designed specifically for this genetic coding that I so lovely am able to have through my ancestors. And so
Right.
there's ancestors and ants, and this is all just coming to me right now. I just got a message that said this is exactly what Native indigenous peoples, like their practices are about. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just the message I got. Um, and so like if you are a special healer in your genetic, hold on, this is all coming in so fast. This is really cool. This has never happened to me on a live. If you are getting a genetic coding down through a lineage, um, that's something you're born with. And then the perfect counterpart spirit will have to get into that genetic body makeup to like kind of make that perfect person for that time period, for that life. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like it's science at one
Mhm.
side,
Mhm.
and that's undeniable. But I think it was genetically made, not by accident,
Yeah.
by monkeys and
No,
apes or
I
whatever.
agree because I think part of the reason why you're like, oh, well, you know this because, you know, like my soul's been here, right? But like genetically, my ancestors are indigenous to Puerto Rico, indigenous Taino, which is like we are like my roots come from like indigenous to the island who is doing all of these practices, who live off the land, who use plant medicine, who do all this. And then it's like, you know, half of that's my dad's side DNA comes from indigenous Puerto Rico. My mom's side DNA comes from Spain. So it's like the Spain colonized my dad's side Taino, and like the whole island became colonized and became Catholic. Fucking Roman Empire colonized the entire island. And like there's very few Tainos left on the island who like live like off the land somewhere. And I'm like, dude, I'm feeling called to go back there because that's my roots. That's where I came from. So it's like I have that in my DNA. I have that in my blood.
You have
Like
to
it really
stop.
is. And like
You
that's
have
why
to
I
stop.
know all this. Because it's
I have
in
a
me.
whole trip booked to the Azores right now. I'm
To
not
where?
kidding. The Azores, where my whole family is, like my
Oh my God.
whole family lineage, because I need to see this place. I need to go to the ancient sites that they refused to admit that existed. So the Portuguese came to the Azores and said no one was there. That's a lie. They recently have found tons of ancient megalithic like pyramids, stuff like that, ruins. So before the Portuguese were there was an indigenous people there, which I think is the top of Atlantis. I need to fucking go there, and I need to see this with my eyes, because I know that when I get there, another spiritual awakening will happen, because
You said
I have to go back.
with our podcast, you said that you believe this is your first time here, right?
On this planet.
On this planet.
This specific soul is very homesick. Yeah. But I
Okay.
think it's about this soul and this genetic ancestral like body, like the body part, like the human part of me, the earthling souls. So like I think that there's earth souls, earthbound souls. I think that there's technically like groups, right? So there's like star seeds, and then there's like earth souls, like earthling souls, or I don't know what they call themselves. This soul is not from earth. And you don't have to tell me that, because in the second grade, somebody called me a freak of nature for no, fifth grade, my whole fifth grade. Because they were like, you're from another planet. I've heard that my whole life. How many times is someone going to say something so you believe it? And plus, I was obsessed with the stars and obsessed with
Yeah.
Orion.
Yeah.
You don't
Which
have
is
to
so
convince
crazy
me
because
anymore.
I was obsessed with the stars too as a kid. I used to always beg to like go see the stars, go see the lights. I love lights. And I think I told you this on the podcast. I loved lights so much that I kissed the light bulb and my lips swelled up because I was just like, I missed the lights. Like, I'm like,
Mm.
why was I so drawn to lights? Like they represent stars. They, they're so similar. But according to one of my past life readings, they did say that I incarnated in Atlantis 11,000 years ago as like kind of my first to help ascend, and obviously that didn't work. But I've always had a connection to Atlantis, and I didn't understand why. I didn't know anything about Atlantis. I was like, I just feel this connection to Atlantis. I felt this connection to Greece, and then my last life was apparently in Greece, and my name is Greek. So it's just like crazy to think about. And now I'm going to be doing a QHHT session, which is the hypnosis that takes me through past life. So I'm like, I really want to know more about my past life.
Will you ask them if you could record that?
Oh, I already did. We're doing a trade. I was like, can I film this? Like, can we record the session? I put it on my YouTube, and then we do this trade where I can like
Good.
advertise. So that's what
That's
we're
going to
gonna
be
do.
huge.
Yeah,
That's going
I'm
to be
so
huge for
excited.
you, and I would never want you to ever lose that. And it needs to be on record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I record everything. Like my hypnotherapy
Okay.
sessions, I record audio record so I can have notes of it. Like Yeah, I'm so excited. I have no idea how this is going to work. Like, I don't know how I'm going to go into this
I think that, you
hypnosis.
know what I think we should do, because I have a whole theory on past lives and I don't think that it matches with yours. So I think it would make a really good second podcast after podcast, or maybe podcast and live. Like, let's do this
Yeah,
all over again. Let's have you
yeah,
on to talk past lives, talk about your experience with the friggin' what you're going to go do with the acronym I
yeah,
don't remember, and
yeah.
then do this again, because I want to like see us duke it out on a live, because I
For
have a whole
what
different theory. Well, let's save
you
it.
have a
Let's
theory
save it.
on your past lives. So,
No, not
so
mine. On how it works.
on how it works. So,
Mhm.
so the theory is that, well, this is what I heard. So, like, I asked my spirit guides, are past lives real? And they said, because of your perception of time, you're gonna, we call them past lives, but no, they're not past. They're all happening at once. It's all happening.
Mhm.
It's like the egg theory. Have you
Yeah.
heard of the egg theory? Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like the egg theory. So it's like, it's kind of like the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything is happening
Mhm.
at once. You have to tap into
Yeah.
it. So I'm like, I'm so excited to find out, what it says. Cause like I got another past life reading from someone. So I wonder if it's going to match up. Cause this time it's my higher self coming through. So that's going to be really interesting.
That's the best. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I try to channel
I'm
that
very
every single day. My higher self.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
so
excited.
important. It's so important. I hate that it could sound even the tiniest bit like egotistical or so. I hate the way it sounds, I think. But not hate, but I talk to my higher self, but I mean it works for me, so that's what I call it. But
Well,
it's
yeah,
because
well,
it has such an attitude like me. It's so funny. They're funny. Like they're funnier than I
because they're more advanced than you are.
am. I'm always like, well, geez, that's how I came up with the Lobster Clam Lighthouse Shanty Sea Shack,
Oh my
for
god,
my higher
really?
power. Yes, I came out of a meditation and I went Lobster Clam Lighthouse Shanty. And my sister was over and I was like, I have Lobster Clam Lighthouse. I need like three more words. She's like, Shanty Sea Shack. I was like, I have to go make a TikTok right now about a restaurant. She's like, what? I'm like, I have to have Lobster Clam Lighthouse, whatever you just said. We got to go outside. I was like, half, like, just came out of a meditation. She's like holding the phone, like, what? And I'm like, thank you for calling the Lobster Clam Lighthouse Shanty Sea Shack. This is Lynn. How can I help you? Like, it came to me over a meditation and it never premeditated. No pun intended.
Oh
Never thought
my god.
about doing a TikTok like that ever. It just
You know what's so funny? During my ayahuasca, while I was under the medicine, my higher self definitely came through because I was like having like first of all, I kind of snapped at the people that were trying to help me because they couldn't get the sweater on me, and I was had my hands up, and they were like choking me with it, and I was like, oh my god, they took it off like 5 times, and I was like, guys, it's a fucking sweater. How hard is it to put on? I'm pretty sure you're wearing one right now. I snapped at them, right, and then I just started laughing, and I said, I'm so sorry. Like, it's really not that serious. Like, I told myself, my higher self came through and was like, Alex, relax, right? It's not that serious, because I was being like, I was so like a baby. Like,
human,
I had literally just like gone
human.
through my death, through my ayahuasca thing, and I was like starting to like get my motor functions back, and I like couldn't do anything, and I was super weak, and I was like, oh my god, and then I was like being whiny, and I was like, oh my god, Alex, it's not that serious. I like yelled at myself, and then
Yeah,
later I was trying to get the blanket in place, and I was like moving it around, and I couldn't get it together because I was so out of it, and I was like, get it together, Alex. And I was like my higher self yelling at me, and everyone kept laughing at me because like I was talking to myself in the third person because my higher self was
yeah.
like, girl, calm down, chill out. I was like, okay, sorry.
Well, in my opinion, it's that happens to me a lot, and but that story is really hilarious, and I really wish I fucking saw that. But I really do have to go. But my opinion
All
is
right.
that it is, yeah. So you can hear my son, my higher power telling you um to get your shit together like that is. Wait, let me collect my thoughts. My son really messed me up. My higher power telling me to get, oh, because you're human. Like at the end of the day, you can be spiritually aligned and all enlightened all you want, but you're still in a fucking human body. You point like it's like our body with plant medicine, like it's still like actually like getting you to a level that the body can't get there on its own. So it needs the
Right.
spirit to like help guide the body through so it doesn't shut down and pass away. Like it keeps you alive. Because it's like, does that make sense? This is just my opinion. So like your body's going like this isn't normal, and your
Yeah.
spirit's like, it's fucking fine.
Yeah. No, I really had that experience while I was in it, especially when I astral projected. I was in another dimension. I kept asking, like, is this ever going to end? And like my higher self would pull me back into the moment, into my human, like this body. And I would see the room I was in. I would see everything, be like, yes, it's fine. This is just what's happening in the moment. I'm like, okay. And then I like go back into the other dimension and I'm like, okay. It was so crazy. But all right. Well,
Thanks so
that's
much. This was so much fun.
6:30
And
on the dot.
I know. 9:30 for me. I go follow me on Chelsea Rose Fitzy, Spiritually Closeted. And my podcast is very important that you tune in to listen to Alex's podcast. It is highly, highly, highly enlightening. We
Yes,
did a
go
really
watch.
good
I mean,
job.
go listen to our podcast together.
It's
Unqualified.
Unqualified Opinions with Chelsea and Nate. Nate wasn't there. We're going to do it again with Nate there. He couldn't make this one, so it was just Alex and I. But the podcast is really great. We do a lot of like spiritual topics. So,
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be good, and then
but
I will.
that launches tomorrow. Everything is found in my bio.
Yes, and I'll be posting this live on my podcast, which is Alex Says It All
Mm,
on Spotify and Apple, and I'll be posting it on my YouTube for anybody who missed anything. You
that's so
guys can watch.
exciting.
Yeah.
Let's do this
Thank you
again
for
after your hypnosis. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing hypnosis. I'm doing ayahuasca again August 19th, and then I am doing hypnosis on August 31st, and then I have hypnotherapy on August 11th. I'm doing a lot this month.
I have 2 this month, so I'm right behind
Nice.
you, but we'll meet up after that and regroup.
Awesome. All right, girl.
All
Thanks
right,
for
bye.
joining. Make sure you guys go follow Chelsea.
Have a good night.
Bye.